Hey guys, my name is Nora Franch, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey everyone, back to you for another day. Just thinking, please let me know if this podcast is blessing you in some way or serving your program. Anything you've noticed, if it's helping you stay consistent, I would just love to hear from you because it's all about the fellowship. It's all about finding strength within in an interdependent way. So I would love for us to be able to build each other up that way. So we are reading from Daily Reflections, page 177, Deep Down Within Us. We found the great reality deep down within us. In the last analysis, it is only there that he may be found. Search diligently within yourself. With this attitude, you cannot fail. The consciousness of your belief is sure to come to you. That's from Alcoholics Anonymous, page 55. And I'm just laughing to myself because I don't know how many of you have seen not just one, but both Frozen movies, because you need to know the entire arc of the development of Elsa's character to know how completely deep her realization is in the second movie. So, spoiler alert for those who have not seen and plan to see the Frozen movies. Please do see them if you are feeling tugged at all, and just stop listening to this episode right now. So I want to comment on this deep reality that is deep down within us, or great reality. And you should know that great reality in this reading is capitalized. So higher power, another term for higher power, the great reality deep down within us. And they tell us to search diligently within ourselves. And there's this moment in the second Frozen movie. This is the climax of the movie, right? And the music is beautiful and intense. And she says, she's singing, and she's, she hears the person. I'm trying to save a little bit of the story, but this big moment where she's told, you are the one you've been waiting for all of your life. And I just remember, how sometimes you actually, you really hear, something just, cuts through you and just, smacks you over the head. And when I heard those lyrics sung, I was floored. It just, and I couldn't even put it into words exactly, but it just hit at heart level, and I've thought about it a lot since. Because in their this is what they're talking about here. And now part of it is I very much relate to Elsa's story, and maybe every little girl in us can relate to Elsa's story, but just of thinking that there's something inherently wrong with who I am and the way I was made, and I have to cover it up, and I have to hide it, and I have to be something else, something that other people want, something that other people can wrap their heads around and accept. And there's this moment where she finally steps into I'm getting goosebumps. I just love this so much. She finally steps into who she is. And I just remember it taking me by surprise. Oh my gosh, she's the fifth spirit. She's the one she's been chasing. This Atta Holland, da 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 da, that's going off. It's that's our higher power calling us. That's like that intuitive thought that that program tells us is the way our higher power speaks to us. That was like that inner thing that she was calling her, but it was calling her, what she didn't realize, to just step into herself in a beautiful way. But she did have to learn how to manage it, how to manage her powers, right? How to manage this amazing gift of who she was. And we all have to do that too. And so the 12 steps help us do that. And I think that's what we have to do with our willpower, right? I think it's might be some of the OA literature that talks about how we actually have like insane amounts of willpower, because a lot of us think that like, oh, if I just was stronger, I could just put the plug in the jug, or I could just stop eating that stuff. um and they're like the literature says, like, "No. Do you know how much willpower it took for you to keep doing what you were doing, or to go through life in the amount of pain that you were in, or to continue to choose to, to participate in your disease?" I mean, in a way, there's, like, this insane amount of willpower in this in the manner of stubbornness that was keeping us in our disease, keeping us in that cycle of insanity. So no, we are not weak-willed people. We are quite strong, but that is our superpower, that we have to learn then how to manage and drive and direct this like fighter jet of a power that is within us. And the thing about something that's really powerful is that if it's not well handled, it can really do some damage, right? And that's what I did living life as a compulsive person in my addiction. That is, the superpower that I had just caused all sort of wreckage, you know, like a tornado taking out relationships and hurting the people around me. And the funny thing about that is it's not my willpower. Even though it caused that damage, it's not my willpower that's the problem. It's how it was wielded. It's how it was managed. And the thing is that the answer to that, the solution to that, is in the 12 steps, but it's the 12 steps that lead us to this greater reality that we then find within us. It's like it's like the Wizard of Oz. We have to end up going back home. So we're in ourselves. We think there's something wrong. We go out, we journey. The prodigal son. There's so many stories that are the same theme, the same answer to the problem, that we have to come back home. It's in realizing that we come back home that we finally become whole and healed, and we can be on that way of recovery. And the funny thing is that home is within myself. And I just think that's so fascinating, because I'm someone who just didn't want to be me. Just wanted to be anybody else, and was so uncomfortable in my own skin, and just assumed everybody did it better, and assumed that I must be wrong, that why am I here? Why bother? Just, and that's not the truth. That's not the truth of who I am, and that's not the truth of the dignity and the power that lies within me. But I have to engage with it, and I have to use the tools, and I have to do my step work in order to be able to wield the power of who I am well and create beauty instead of wreckage. Those are my thoughts on that. Hopefully some of you can relate to being Elsa fans. I really like, secretly, if I was someone who could write a thesis, I would love to write a thesis about like the story arc of the development of the character of Elsa, and how that is like extremely spiritual and profound in the lives of like everyone. But maybe that's just really obvious, and everyone's just like, yeah, we know. Anyway, I'll get off my Elsa train. I hope you all have a beautiful day. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. But more than that, it's important to me to give listeners like yourself a place where you do not need to feel alone on your 12-step journey. And for that reason, I've created a Facebook group. It's called Grateful Blessed Mess. And it's a place where listeners can go to add their own commentary on the share for the day, in addition to my own, and for us just to have a conversation or start a back and forth where people can find support in their 12-step journey. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.